On the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, what was once a bustling commercial complex is now a heap of ruins. The market, less than a kilometer from the border on the Afghan side, was destroyed by a Pakistani airstrike on March 8th. Overnight, more than 150 businesses were reduced to ashes, including that of Qadarjan, an auto part vendor. The father of 7 lost everything. Without assistance, he has no means to rebuild his business.
I bought this shop with all my savings. I had to borrow money and I'm still paying off the loan. Look, here, that was the filter. That was the gearbox. There was the radiator. Now it's just a pile of ashes.
The losses are immense. According to the owner of the complex, nearly 4 million euros worth of goods and infrastructure went up in smoke.
When I come here and see this devastation, it makes me deeply sad. Millions of goods were imported through the Torkham border crossing and everyone benefited. Now we have no source of income. Since the conflict began, all commercial activities have been ruined, and basic necessities cost so much more.
Just a few hundred meters away, in the Pakistani border town of Torkham, everything has come to a standstill. For 6 months, the border crossing between the two countries has been completely closed. Only a handful of businesses are still open. This restaurant owner reopened 2 days ago, hoping to attract some customers, but to no avail.
We made this curry today as well as other dishes, but there are no customers, no one comes. Yesterday we lost a lot of money.
Relations between the two neighbors have sharply deteriorated since the Taliban returned to power in Kabul in 2021. They are now facing their most violent clashes in years.
This time the fighting's really intense. There are around 30 or 40 military posts in the mountains on both sides of the border in this region, and fighting regularly breaks out between both sides. Many people have been hit and wounded. We live constantly with the fear that the fighting could start again any minute and that we'll have to leave.
Before the conflict, tens of thousands of people came here each day from surrounding villages to work. Pakistani exporters cut off from Afghan and Central Asian markets are losing around 150 million euros every month.
More than
120,000 people have been displaced on both sides of the border since the clashes erupted at the end of February.
There used to be many porters, truck drivers, buses, and taxis here, but that whole economy collapsed. We have very close ties to the people who live on the other side of the border. We have family members there. We have joint business dealings, and we have friendships with them.
On a hill overlooking the town, trucks have been stranded for 6 months. Asaunullah traveled 1,800 kilometers from the south of the country, incurring heavy costs to deliver a container of medicines across the border into Afghanistan. But he has been stuck here since the border closed.
Every 4 or 5 days, I check that everything's working with my lorry. I start the engine so that the battery doesn't get damaged.
Before the conflict, the Torkham border crossing saw nearly 10,000 people and 700 trucks pass through each day.
I've been driving containers for 15 years, but I never imagined that I'd have to deal with a border closure for such a long time. I've run out of money because I only have this one lorry and it's stuck here. In the last 6 months, I've lost almost 1,800 euros. I have a large family, there are groceries to buy, the children's school fees, and all other sorts of expenses.
In landlocked Afghanistan, the situation is even more critical. Nearly 46% of Afghan exports transit through Pakistan, compared to just 3.5% in the other direction. The carpet industry has been particularly hit hard. It is one of the country's most important crafts. In this workshop, unshipped orders are piling up. The owner is now in search of alternative routes.
Since we have no access to the sea in Afghanistan, we must use either air or land routes. Before the conflict, all our products were exported via Pakistan. Carpets are also exported by air, but due to the war in the Middle East, air transport routes have been disrupted and freight prices have increased by 50%.
Despite talks between Afghan and Pakistani delegations in early April in Urumqi, China, there is no solution to the conflict currently in sight.